Looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine.
Welcome to the Poole Locke YouTube channel. I'm James Locke. Today we're going to answer some of the Ask James questions of the day. We have this first question from Harold. He asks, I hear the market may crash soon. What's your honest opinion? Harold, market crashes are always possible. I mean, that's just the nature of investing. But here's what you need to understand. Many pundits and market commentators predict crashes constantly, year after year after year. And they're going to be right once. And if you predict a crash every single year for a decade, you'll eventually be correct. And then you can claim, I called it. Meanwhile, investors who listened and stayed on the sidelines missed years of growth and compounding returns. So we've experienced black swan events before. Tech bubble burst in 2000, financial crisis in 07, 08, pandemic crash 2020. Each time, people thought it was the end of the world for investors. Could something similar happen again? Yep, absolutely. There are always risks we simply can't foresee. Geopolitical tensions, unexpected policy changes, economic shocks, or events we haven't even imagined yet. That uncertainty is part of investing. It always will be. But when I look at the current economic landscape, things still appear reasonably strong overall. In fact, one encouraging sign is that market gains are broadening beyond just the technology sector into other areas like industrials, financials, healthcare. When market strength is diversified across multiple sectors rather than concentrated in just a few high-flying tech stocks, that's generally a much healthier and more sustainable market kind of solution for the broader market. Now, if I had to make an educated guess, I'd say a major recession hitting 2026, unlikely. Barring some completely unpredictable black swan event that nobody sees coming. But here's what matters far more than my prediction or anyone else's. If your retirement income strategy is structured properly around interest payments and dividend distributions rather than having to sell shares and make principal withdrawals, it doesn't matter nearly as much what the market does on any given day, month, or even year. Your income stream continues flowing regardless of market volatility because you're not forced to sell during downturns. That's the real key to retirement peace of mind. Building a portfolio designed for income generation and capital preservation. Not one that requires you to liquidate assets in potentially unfavorable market conditions. So it's all about understanding financial defense, right? So that you can feel more confident and secure regardless of what happens in the market, right? So knowing that your income stream is coming from interest and dividends. All right, great question. Thank you. If you would like to send in a question like Harold did, you can do so. You can email that question to poollocke@poollocke.com. Moving on, second question today. This is from George. He says, I am badly behind on saving for retirement. Do I need to take a lot of risk to catch up? George, it depends on how far behind you actually are and how much time you have until you plan to retire. If you're already, let's say, 70% of the way to your retirement goal and still have several years before retirement, well, even a modest 5% annual return could potentially get you there. That's roughly what a well-structured income strategy focused on interest payments and dividend distributions can generate. And you can achieve that level of return without taking the kind of excessive risk that could jeopardize what you've already saved. Now, right now, we're seeing market gains broadening beyond just technology stocks and dividend-paying sectors like utilities, consumer staples, real estate investment trusts, and established financial companies. So this sector rotation, it creates a genuine opportunity to transition your portfolio over towards income-generating investments while still capturing potential upside and potentially reducing your downside risk exposure if markets experience a pullback or a correction. So you don't have to choose between catching up on your savings and protecting yourself from losses. But here's something really important to consider. What does being caught up actually means? It doesn't necessarily mean hitting some arbitrary account balance number. It means having enough reliable income to comfortably support your retirement lifestyle. And here's what often surprises people. They discover they can generate sufficient retirement income from a smaller portfolio than they initially thought they needed, particularly if that income is structured properly around interest and dividends rather than relying on risky withdrawal strategies that deplete your principal. The key difference is this. When you're taking systematic withdrawals from your portfolio, say 4%, 5% annually, you're selling shares to generate cash. If the market drops 20% right after you retire, you're selling more shares to generate the same dollar amount, potentially devastating your long-term sustainability. But if your income comes from interest and dividends, that market volatility matters far less because you're not forced to sell during downturns. So rather than swinging for the fences with high-risk investments that could backfire, consider whether a disciplined approach focused on building reliable income streams might actually get you to where you need to be, with a lot more peace of mind and a lot less risk to what you've already worked so hard to save. All right, great question. And again, if you want to send in a question like George did, you can do so. You can email that question to Poole Locke at poolelocke.com. And if you like what you heard, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. I'm James Locke, your retirement income source, and I'll see you next time.
Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine. Retirement is near, don't you live in fear. Listen up, my friend, let me